So hi everyone. As you may have noticed, the library's website has gone through a major redesign. So I'm here today with Amy Kimura, who is our web services librarian, just to walk us through the major changes. So Amy, what prompted the site redesign?
Well, so I was hired to design and maintain a website that really efficiently connects our users with the resources and services that they use the most. So this means that I have a very user-centered focus, and I'm leading a team called the Web Improvement Team, and we are focused on figuring out what our users need from us and how we can deliver that via the website most efficiently.
Oh, that's great. So it must be great having like a group that can kind of talk to our users. What was the process that you went through to actually redesign the site?
So for this initial stage, we spent some time, I interviewed, and some of the Web Improvement Team members also interviewed a bunch of our users across different groups, so students, faculty members, staff members. And we also take a look at our analytics to see where people are actually clicking on the website, how much time they spend on various pages, what resources they use the most. Because sometimes what people say is not necessarily what they actually do, so we look at both sides of it and try to figure out what's really going on.
So what are kind of the major changes for the site that people should be aware of?
So for this part of the redesign, and I should tell you that this is really an incremental kind of thing. So there's this first stage which really focuses on the primarily on the visual aspects of the site, and we chose to do that partly because it's one of the easier things to start with in a way, because it doesn't necessarily affect all of the content, and we are very, library websites tend to be very content-heavy sites. And also because one of the major issues we heard from our users was that the visual design was starting to feel a little bit dated. It has been about 5 or 6 years since there was an update. So people were kind of ready for something a little bit fresher, cleaner, more white space. So that's where we started.
Okay. And I noticed on the homepage that there is like a specific link for health science resources. So I was wondering, what's so special about the health sciences? Just kidding. But is there like plans in the works for other types of content to be highlighted like that?
Right, so we, you'll notice that there are 2 short groups of links. There's now resources and services that we highlight, and that one of those things, as you mentioned, was the health sciences resources. And the reason for that is because the health sciences population has a very clearly defined set of needs. And they have been pushing for a couple years to really have easier access to the specialized resources that they need. So we worked a lot with users from the health sciences to try and figure out how to make an entry point for them that would be useful. So we'll see how it works. One of the great things about this iterative design process is that you make a change, you evaluate whether it was an improvement, and then you can go back, you can redo it until you get something that's really working well. So as far as creating specialized resources for other groups, that's definitely something we're looking into. We started with RBHS because it was kind of an obvious place to start. And so in the future, we'll be looking to see whether or not we can do the same thing for other groups of our users.
Okay. So are there any kind of other upcoming changes that might be coming down the pipeline that you can tell us about for the site?
Well, yes. It's hard to say at this point specifically what they are. We have a lot of plans. You know, we have the new discovery tool coming, which is going to be a pretty major thing. So we're all focused right now on how we're going to incorporate the design of the new discovery tool into the website, and creating a site that really supports that new tool and supports our users in learning how to use the new tool. We're also going to be spending a lot more time interviewing our users and doing more data analytics to see whether there are other aspects of the site that we can kind of pinpoint and target to try and improve the user experience. So it's going to keep on improving, hopefully, and at some point we'll also have kind of a regular schedule of changes, and we'll keep communicating those changes to the community as they're coming.
So those are all the questions that I have for today. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our viewers before we sign off?
Well, at any point, if our users or people working at the service desks have any problems that they'd like me to address, or they'd like the Web Improvement Team to address, they can get in touch with me directly. Also, we'll provide a link to a Google form that's allows people to provide anonymous feedback. So whenever you encounter a problem or have anything you want to communicate to us, feel free to get in touch.